everybody should be looking at the page with the clock and GP under the word name. Now, what we're going to do is we are just going to solve each of these the way that we did on Thursday and Friday. But we're not going to be doing models. We are only going to be working on this the paper and pencil way. Now, the way we work on it here in the guided practice is exactly the way you work on your independent practice and your homework. So every single thing that I do, that we all will do up here, is what you do on your independent practice. Does everybody understand? And your homework. That means when we pull out these little problems, these mini problems that get us our partial products, you're going to be writing them next to them. Not up here, not over here, not somewhere over here, but right next to the problems. So that it goes in a line, kind of like an equation. Maybe we'll even add the little equal sign so that you know exactly why you're doing that. I think we will do that. Okay, so this one is a little weird. It says find the product, but instead of having numbers, it has letters. Because anytime I get math worksheets from this one website, which is really good, it just has letters. I don't know why. I guess I know why. Then you don't ever accidentally confuse it as part of the problem. But whatever. Okay, so A, I'm going to model A exactly how you will solve it. And then you'll help me with as many as I think we need. Okay, so A, we have 47 times 63. I know step one when I'm doing double-digit multiplication is to multiply the ones. Now, class, does that mean I'm doing 3 times 7? Class?
No.
When I multiply the tens, does that mean I'm doing 6 times 4?
No.
Is this the correct way? What's going on? Yes, Carla, quickly.
I didn't know if you was going to let us.
No, I said, remember, when I say class, that means everybody can answer. Is this the correct way to do double-digit multiplication? 7 times 3 is 21. 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 2 is 26. 47 times 63 is 261. Is that correct? No.
No.
Absolutely not. Because what I mean when I multiply the ones is I take my entire top factor and multiply it by the value of the digit in the ones place on my bottom factor. So that means when I multiply the ones, I'm not doing 7 times 3. I'm doing 47 times 3 because a 3 in the ones place has a value of what, class?
3.
3. So that means when I multiply the ones, I'm multiplying 47 times 3. You don't have to do this bubbling because remember, it's going to get confusing if you do it. But you do 100% need to write these mini problems. And I know, let me write it. I'm going to write it a little further over. I know my first partial product is going to be whatever 47 times 3 is. Now, what I'm going to do, so that I can do it right here, is I'm going to pretend that 6 does not exist right now, and I'm going to solve it like I normally would. So everybody remember, when you're solving for the ones, you solve right here. You just pretend that that digit in the tens place on the bottom factor doesn't exist. For a moment. Do you keep it? Do you stay believing it doesn't exist? No. But for now, while we're working in the ones place, we're going to pretend that 6 in the tens place does not exist. So 3 times 7. Zari, what's 3 times 7?
21.
21. I leave my 1 in the ones place. I regroup my 2 to the tens place. Now, just like I would in a one-digit multiplication problem, I'm solving 3 times 4. Michaela, 3 times 4 is what? 12. Do I write 12 down here? No, because I have a, but what is that called? What's the math word? I have a regroup number in my tens place. So 3 times 4 is And then what do I do with this regroup number? 12 plus 2 is 14. Michaela, do I have a hundredths place to regroup to? No. So I'll just put my 1 in the hundredths place of my product. What do I always need to do when I finish multiplying the ones? Carla.
Cross off the regroup number.
I need to cross out any regroup numbers from when I multiplied my ones. Am I always going to have a regroup number to cross out? Not always. Because do I always need to regroup every single time, no matter what? No, I don't. But should I always check for that? Yes. Okay. Now I'm ready to multiply the tens. I know that doesn't mean I'm doing 4 times 6. It means I'm multiplying my entire top factor by the value of the digit in the tens place in my bottom factor. Class, what is the value of a 6 in the tens place?
60.
60. So I'm not doing 47 times 6. I'm doing 47 times 60.
2 seconds. I didn't see.
Okay. So just catch up when you get back, okay? So I'm not doing, when I multiply the tens, I'm not saying 47 times 6 because I have to multiply my entire top factor by the value of the digit in the tens place. A 6 in the tens place is not worth 6, it's worth 60. So that means my second partial product will answer the equation 47 times 60 equals. Yes. Quick.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ethan for about 5 minutes, maybe 4.
Okay. Okay, Ethan, when you get back, we can go over this together during independent practice time, okay? Okay, make sure you push your turn. Okay.
I won't keep him.
Okay. So I know when I'm solving my second partial product, my tens, I'm multiplying 47 times 60. I know in 47 times 60, I have a what? In that equation, I have a what? Zadie? I have a multiple of 10 because 60, I know, is a product of 10 times 6, right? So that means 60 is a multiple of 10. Class, anytime I multiply by a multiple of 10, what is going to be in the ones place?
A 0.
A 0. So now I've dealt with that 0 and I covered up. What problem do I have left to solve? Class?
47
times 6.
47 times 6. But first, I have to put that 0 in the ones place. Before I can think of it as 47 times 6, I have to put that 0. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm making the zeros cancel each other out. There's a 0 on one side, there must be 1 on the other side. Now, what I can do, remember, I hope that you did not draw this little bubble, because that's just for me to show you. Now, what I can do is I can go back up to my problem and pretend that 3 doesn't exist. Now, do I ever multiply up first when I'm in the tens place? No, I still have to multiply starting with the ones place. In multiplication, I always start with the ones place. So I'm not doing 6 times 4 right now. I have to start with the ones place. So 6 times 7 is what, Carla?
$42.
42. Good. Now I can't put 42 in one place, so I leave my 2 down in the tens place. I already have that 0, so that tells me, hey, you can't put it in the ones place like you think you should because your 0's in the way. Would I ever think to erase that 0 to put the 2? No. So the 2 goes in the tens place, and then I regroup the 4. See why it's so important to cross out any regrouping after you multiply the ones. Now, I'm still pretending that 3 doesn't exist. I just solved 6 times 7, which is 42. Now I solve 6 times 4. Zadie, what is 6 times 4?
24.
24. Do I write 24 down here?
No.
No, because what do I have to do first?
You have to add the regroup number.
I have to add the regroup number. So 6 times 4 is 24, plus 4 is
28.
28. So I put my 8 down in the hundredths place. Do I have somewhere to regroup the 2 in 28?
No.
No, so I can just go ahead and put it in my partial product. Okay, so now I have my partial products. I have my 1s, 47 times 3 equals 141. I have my 10s, 47 times 60 is 2,820. Am I done, class? No, because last thing I have to do is add the partial products. So I start by adding the 1s. Make sure you're writing small so that when you get down here you have space to regroup, because you're probably going to have to regroup, right? Okay, 1 plus 0 is what, class?
1.
4 plus 2 is what, class?
6.
1 plus 8 is what, class?
9.
I'm going to bring down my comma because I know it always lines up in addition and subtraction. 2 plus, add the thousands. 2 plus nothing is what, class?
2.
2. So that means 141 plus 2,820 is 2,961, which means, class, 47 times 63 is what?
2,961.
2,961. Okay. Notice how I gave myself space on top for regrouping and underneath and to the side for all of these. Okay, how do you feel about this? Okay, let's move on to B. 86 times 25. Kingston, I'm multiplying double-digit numbers. What do I need to do first? What's step 1? Multiply the 1s, which means I'm doing what small equation?
86
You're doing what I said not, the very first thing I said not to do. When I'm multiplying the 1s, am I doing 6 times 5, class?
No.
When I multiply the 10s, am I doing 8 times 2, class?
No.
No. When I multiply the 1s, I take the entire top factor and multiply it by the value of the digit in the 1s place. Kingston, what is my top factor? 86. What is the value of the digit in the 1s place on the bottom? What is the value of the digit in the 1s place on the bottom? 5. A 5 in the 1s place is worth 5, which means when I'm multiplying the 1s, I'm doing what equation, Kingston? Kingston, when I'm multiplying the 1s, what equation am I doing? 86 times 5, my whole top factor times the value of the digit in the 1s place. Okay, so now we can just solve like normal. I'm going to cover up that 2 in the 10s place and just solve it as if it's one digit multiplication. So, 5 times 6, Kingston, 30. I leave my 0 down in my product and I regroup that 3. Now, 5 times 8, 40, plus my regroup 3, 43. Now I'm finished multiplying the 1s. What should I do before I move on to multiplying the 10s, Kingston? Before I move on to multiplying the 10s, what should I do? I can't hear you. What? I can't hear you. Michaela, what should I do? Before I move on to multiplying the 10s, what should I always do? I cross out my regroup numbers so I don't accidentally use them again. Because I'm not supposed to use it again. Unless I happen to get a 3 here, which could happen, I'm not going to use that 3 again. And even if I do happen to get another 3 here, is it the same 3? No, it's completely different. Okay, Now we're done multiplying the ones. We crossed out our regroup numbers so we don't accidentally use them again. Now we need to multiply the tens. That means we're doing what equation, Kingston? 86 times 20. Because I'm taking my whole top number and I'm multiplying it by the value of the digit in the tens place. Kingston, a 2 in the tens place has a value of what? 20. Okay, now in my equation, 86 times 20, I have a what, Kingston? Not just a 0. I have a multiple of 10, which means what about the answer to that partial product? Specifically, there will be a 0 where? There's going to be a 0 in the ones place. Now that I've placed my 0 in the ones place, I can think of this equation as what? Do I need to worry about this 0 anymore now that I've put my 0 in the ones place? No. So what does my equation look like now? 86 times 2. So let's go up here, cover up that digit in the ones place, and solve it as if it's one digit multiplication. Now, can I multiply this 2 by the digit in the tens place first? No, never, ever, ever. I must always start in the ones place. So, 2 times 6 is what, Kingston? 12. I leave my 2 down in my partial product, and I regroup the 1. Some of you are forgetting to regroup, and you are putting the whole number down here. Do not do this, because I'm telling you that something is wrong, so those of you that immediately went to write, you're not listening. Do not do this, because then I'll think, okay, 2 times 8, that's 16. And that means the product of 86 times 20 is 16,120. Is that correct, though?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that correct? Quickly, please, so that you can catch up. No, because I can't put 2 digits in one place. So when I did 2 times 6, I got 12. I put my 2 in my partial product, and I regrouped my 1. Now I need to solve. I just solved 2 times 6, which is 12. Now I need to solve 2 times 8. Kingston, what's 2 times 8? 16. Is that what I put down here? No, because what do I need to do first? I have to add the regroup number. So Kingston, 2 times 8 is, plus 1 is 17. Now, because I don't have anywhere to regroup, I don't have another place to regroup, now I can just put the 1 down at the bottom. So Ethan, pause. We'll go over these 2 together. And then when we get to C, start working with us again, okay? Because right now it's just going to be copying and not really listening. So just listen. And then when we get to number C, then you can start working with us, okay? Okay. Now I'm going to put my comma every 3 digits. And am I done, Kingston? I have 430 and 1,720. Am I done? No, because what do I need to do next? Add the partial product. So Kingston, 0 plus 0, 3 plus 2, 4 plus 7. Use your fingers if you need to. Don't sit and stare. Cullen? 11. Leave the 1 in the hundreds place. Regroup the 1 to the thousands place. I'm going to go ahead and bring my comma down because I know it's going to line up in addition and subtraction. Now Kingston, add the thousands. 1 plus nothing is 1. Plus our regrouped 1 is 2. So Kingston, that means 430 plus 1,720 is 2,150, which means, class, 86 times 25 is what?
2,150.
2,150. Okay, now C. Colin, we have 95 times 70. What's the first step to double-digit multiplication? What's the first step? The math way of saying it. No numbers, nothing. What do we do? Come on, what's step 1? There's 3 steps to doing double-digit multiplication. What's step 1? Zadie?
Multiply the 4.
Multiply the ones, which means we're doing what equation?
95 times 0.
Louder.
95 times 0.
95 times 0. So we know our first partial product will be the answer to the equation 95 times 0. Because we multiply our whole number times the value of the digit in the ones place. Cullen, the value of a 0 in the ones place is what?
0.
0. Class, what's the value of a 0 no matter what place it's in? Class?
0.
0.
0.
A 0 can be in the thousands place, and it's still worth what, class?
0.
0.
0.
Okay, Cullen. We know 95 times 0 is what?
0.
0. Because of what? Who remembers what tells us the value of any number times 0 is 0? What is that called? Michaela? Very good. The 0 property of multiplication. So now we're done with the ones place, right, Colin?
Yes.
What should I always do before I move on to the tens place?
Check to see if there was a regroup number.
Check to see if there's a regroup number. If there is, what do I do with it?
Cross it out.
Do I have any here though?
No.
No, but should I still always check?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, make sure you're focusing. Scoot your chair in. And now, what's step 2, Cullen?
Multiply the tens.
Multiply the tens, which means I'm doing what equation?
95 times 70.
95 times 70. I know my second partial product is going to be my top factor, 95 in this case, multiplied by the value of the digit in the tens place. Cullen, a 7 in the tens place is worth how much?
70.
70. Now, what do I have in my equation? A what?
A multiple of 10.
A multiple of 10, because 10 times 7 is 70, which means what?
There's a 0 in the ones place.
There's gonna be a 0 in the ones place of my product. Now that I've dealt with that 0, what equation am I solving?
95 times 7.
95 times 7. So I can come up here, pretend this digit in the ones place doesn't exist. I'm doing 95 times 7. Can I do 7 times 9 first?
No.
Excuse me. No, because I always have to start with what place?
The ones.
The ones. And 9 is in the
Tens.
tens place. So I have to do 7 times 5. Colin, 7 times 5 is what?
35.
35. I leave my 5 down in my product, and I regroup the 3. Now I just solved 7 times 5, which is 35. Now what do I solve, Cullen?
9 times 7.
7 times 9, which equals
63.
63. Very good. But can I put 63 down here?
No.
No, because what do I have to do?
Add your regroup number.
Add the regroup number. So 7 times 9 is?
7 times 9 is 63.
Plus 3 is?
66.
66. Do I have a place to regroup?
No.
No, so I'm just going to go ahead and put 66 down in my partial product. I'm going to go ahead and place my comma every 3 digits. And am I done?
No.
Is my answer 0 and 6,650?
No.
No, because what do I have to do with those partial products?
Add them.
Add them. Very good. Now, I know because of what property? That 0 plus any number is that number. What is that property that tells us that 0 plus any number is that number? Zari?
0 property of addition.
There's no such thing as a 0 property of addition. There is a 0 property of multiplication, but there's no such thing as a 0 property of addition. Victoria? The identity property of addition. Remember, with addition, the identity property has to do with 0. But with multiplication, the identity property has to do with what number? Colin? Victoria? 1. In multiplication, the identity property has to do with 1, and the 0 property has to do with 0. But in addition, the identity property has to do with 0. Is there any addition property that has to do with 1? There's only 3. Do any of them have to do with 1? No. We have an extra property in multiplication. Okay, so now we add. We know because of the identity property of addition that any number, that 6,650 plus 0 is going to be what?
6,650.
6,650. So we don't even have to go through and add each place. So that means, class, 95 times 70 is what?
6,650.
650.
6,650. Okay, let's do D. We'll see. Maybe after F, we'll move on. I'll let you finish on your own. We'll see how everybody feels. Ethan, can you help me with D, or do you need a few more practice problems? Okay. Oh, Erin's not here right now because I wasn't able to print things for her. So she's coming at 9:30. Smith, you're helping me with D. Please make sure that you are writing small so that you can fit everything neatly. Okay, I have 78 times 39. Smith, what is step 1 when I'm multiplying double-digit numbers?
Multiply the ones.
Multiply the ones, which means I'm doing what equation to find my first partial product?
78 times 9.
78 times 9. So I know the answer, or I'm sorry, I know my first partial product is going to be the answer to 78 times 9 because I multiply my whole top factor times the value of the digit in the ones place on my bottom factor. Smith, the value of a 9 in the ones place is what?
9.
Very good. Okay, so now I can just pretend this 3 is in here right now and just multiply as I normally would with one-digit multiplication. So Smith, what do I do first?
Multiply the ones.
Well, you can just tell me the actual equations at this point. Sorry.
8 times 9.
I'm going to do 9 times 8, which equals what, Smith?
72.
72. I'm going to leave the 2 in my product, and I'm going to regroup the 7. Now what equation am I doing?
9 times 7.
9 times 7, which equals?
63.
Am I done? Do I put
No.
63 in my partial product? No, because I need to do what?
Add the regrouped number.
So I need to add the regrouped number. So Smith, 9 times 7 is what?
63.
Plus 7 is?
70.
70. Very good. Do I have another place to regroup that 7?
No.
No. So I'm just going to go ahead and write both of those digits in my product. Now, what do I need to do before I move on to multiplying the tens?
Cross out your regrouped number.
Cross out my regroup number. Okay, now what's step 2, Smith?
Multiply the tens.
Multiply the tens, which means I'm doing what equation to find my partial product?
78 times 30.
78 times 30, because I'm multiplying my whole top factor times the value of the digit in the tens place on the bottom. Smith, what is the value of a 3 in the tens place?
30.
Good. Now I see in my equation I have a what?
A 0.
Not just a 0, because what if I was solving this equation? Would that be the same thing? Would I do the same thing there? If I had 78
No.
times 302? No, so it's not that
No.
I have a 0, I have a what?
A multiple of 10.
I have a multiple of 10. And anytime I multiply by a multiple of 10, what does that mean?
A 0 will be in the ones place.
There's going to be a 0 in the ones place. Okay, so now that I've placed that 0, what equation do I have left?
78 times 3.
78 times 3. So I can go up to my equation, pretend that 9 doesn't exist, and solve. Am I going to solve 3 times 7 first, Smith?
No.
No, because I always have to start in the ones place. So Smith, 3 times 8 is
24.
24. Can I put 24 down in my product?
No.
No, because I have a place to regroup to. So 3 times 8 is 24. I leave my 4 down in my partial product, and I regroup the 2. Now what am I solving? Smith, I just solved 3 times 8 equals 24. What am I solving next?
3 times 7.
3 times 7, which equals?
21.
Do I leave 21 down here?
No.
No. What do I have to do?
Add the regrouped number.
So 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is?
23.
23. Do I have anywhere to regroup that to?
No.
No. So now I can write it in my product. I'm going to put my comma so I don't forget about it. And now, am I done, Smith?
No.
No, because what is step 3?
Add the partial products.
Add the partial products. Unfortunately, you don't have it as easy as Cullen, so let's solve place by place. Smith, 2 plus 0 is?
2.
Add the 10, 0 plus 4 is?
4.
Add the 100, 7 plus 3 is?
10.
Leave the 0 in our in our sum. Regroup the 1. Add the thousands, 2 plus nothing is?
2.
Plus 1 is?
3.
Bring down my comma, because they always line up. In addition and subtraction, 702 plus 2,340 is what, Smith?
3,042.
3,042. So class, 78 times 39 is what?
3,042.
3,042. Okay, E. Victoria, we have 63 times 48. What's step 1? Multiply the ones, which means we're doing what equation? 63 times 8, because we multiply the whole top factor by the value of the digit in the bottom factor, in the ones place in the bottom factor. The value of an 8 in the ones place is what, Victoria? The value of an 8 in the ones place is what? The value of an 8 in the ones place is what? Michaela? 8. Whatever the digit in the ones place is, you multiply it by 1. That's your value. 8 times 1 is what, Victoria? So an 8 in the ones place is worth how much? 8. Okay. Now we can just pretend this 4 is in here and multiply like we would with a 1-digit number, right? So 8 times 3 is 24. We leave the 4. Do we have a place to regroup the 2 to? Yes, so we're going to regroup it. Okay. Now, 8 times 6? 48. Do we write 48 at the bottom? No, because what do we have to do? We add the regroup number, which is 2. So 8 times 6 is? 8 times 6 is? 48 plus 2 is 50. Now, do I have a place to regroup my 5? No, so I'm just going to write it in my product. So now I know my first partial product is 504. What do I do before I move on to step 2? We cross out any regroup numbers so we don't accidentally use them again. Okay, now what's step 2, Victoria? We multiply the 10s, which means we're doing what equation? 63 times 40, because we multiply our whole top number times the value of the digit in the tens place. Victoria, how much is a 4 in the tens place worth? Can't hear you. 40. Because I have a 4 in the tens place, anytime I'm trying to find the value of a digit in the tens place, I take that digit, multiply it by 10. 4 times 10 is what? So that means a 4 in the tens place is worth 40. Okay. What do I see in this equation? A what, Victoria? A multiple of 10. Remember, I'm not looking for a 0 because what if I have something like this? Does that 0 do the same thing as a 0 at the end? No, but I'm also not saying a 0 at the end because that's not the math term. It's a multiple of 10. Anytime I multiply by a multiple of 10, what does that mean? There's going to be a 0 in the ones place. Now that I've placed my 0, what's my equation now? 63 times 4. So I can cover up that 8, pretend it doesn't exist. Do I do 4 times 6 first? No, I always start in the what place? Ones place. So 4 times 3 is 12. Do I have a place to regroup that 1? Huh?
Yes.
Yes. Because I haven't used this 6 in the tens place yet, so I know I have a place to regroup it to. Now, I'm solving what equation? I just solved 4 times 3, which is 12. Now what am I solving? 4 times 6. So 4 times 6 is, then I add my regroup number. 24 plus 1 is 25. Do I have a place to regroup my 2? No, so it's just going to go in my product. And then I'm going to place my comma, so I remember to put it in my answer. And what is step 3, Victoria? I can't hear you. Add the partial products. Okay. Start in the ones place. 4 plus 0. 0 plus 2. 5 plus 5. Regroup the 1 to the thousands place. Bring down my comma. 2 plus add the thousands. 2 plus nothing. Plus 1. So that means 504 plus 2,520 is 3,024. Class, 63 times 48 is what?
3,024.
3,024. Okay, we're going to do one more together. Then you get to choose if you want to keep going with us or if you want to go ahead and keep going on your own. Mason, that's the last person too. We have 59 times 96. What is step 1 when we're multiplying double-digit numbers? No, we're not breaking anything down. Mason, stop. Hands down, please. Have we broken anything else down? No. What did we do first every time? What is step 1? It's the same. What did we do here? We multiplied the... Nope. Who can help them out? Come on, Mason, it's a pattern. We're doing the same thing every time. We just have different numbers. So please make sure you're listening right now. Because it tells me that you're not really listening because we're doing the same thing first every single time. Zadie, step 1 is what?
Multiply the 1.
Multiply the 1. So Mason, what do we do first when we have double-digit multiplication? I'm asking for the math term. What did Zadie just say? She just said the words, the step. Multiply the 1s, which means we're doing what equation? 59 times 6, because we're taking the whole top factor, 59, and multiplying it by the value of the digit in the ones place on the bottom. Mason, a 6 in the ones place is worth how much? 6. Okay, so now we can solve. We can just pretend this 9 isn't here, and we can solve like we do one-digit multiplication. So, what do we do first? What small equation do we do first when we're solving one-digit multiplication? You can tell me the actual numbers. 6 times 9, which equals? Michaela? Not 30. Colin?
54.
54. Please make sure you're working on your multiplication facts. We cannot keep going without you knowing your multiplication facts. So 54. Mason, do I have a place to regroup that 5 to? Yes. Because I haven't used this digit yet. Okay. Now what what do I solve? I just solved 6 times 9, which is 54. What do I solve next? 6 times 5, which okay, so I just solved 6 times 9, which is 54. Now I need to solve what, Mason? 6 times 5, which is 30, but can I write 30 down here? No, because what do I have to do before I can write my answer down here? I have to add the regroup number. So 6 times 5 is, plus 5 is 35. Now, do I have a place to regroup my 3? No, so I'm going to write it in my product. Okay, now I'm done with step 1. What should I always do before I move on to step 2? Cross out any regroup number so I don't accidentally use them again. Now, what is step 2 of multiplying a double-digit number? Multiply the 10, which means I'm doing what equation? Very good. 59 times 90, because I take my whole top factor, 59, and I multiply it by the value of the digit in the tens place. Mason, a 9 in the tens place is worth what? 90, because you take that digit in the tens place, multiply it by 10. 9 times 10 is 90, so that's the value. What do I have in this equation? A what? Not a 0, but a, what is that math term that we've been saying all morning? Smith?
A multiple of 10.
I have a multiple of 10. Which factor is multiple of 10? 56, 59, or 90? 90, because 10 times 9 is 90. Anytime I multiply by a multiple of 10, what does that mean, Mason? I'm going to have a 0 in the ones place. Okay, now that I've dealt with that 0, what equation do I have left? 59 times 9, so I can just solve it up here. Mason, would I ever do 9 times 5 first? No, what do I have to do first? 9 times what? 9 times 9, because I always start in the ones place. So, Mason, 9 times 9 is what? 81. Do I have somewhere to regroup the 8? Yes, because I haven't used this digit yet. Okay, now I just solved 9 times 9, which is 81. What do I solve next? 9 times 5, which is 45. Do I write 45 down here? No, because I have to not regroup it, but add my regroup number. So 9 times 5 is, listen to the question I'm asking. 9 times 5 is, listen to the question I'm asking. 9 times 5 is 45. Plus 8, use your fingers, don't be scared. I use them all the time. Not 52. Don't be scared to use your fingers. 9 times 5 is 45. Let's add 45. Look at me, look at me. Mason, we're doing it together. 9 times 5 is 45. Let's count up using our fingers. Mason, please look at me. We've all had to do this. Okay, I'm going to have to call on somebody else. Ethan, can you help me count up? Because you haven't gotten into a problem yet. So 9 times 5 is 45. We're going to count up 8. So 45. We're counting up 8. We're using our fingers. So 45, 46, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. So that means 45 plus 8 is 53. Ethan, do I have anywhere to regroup that 5? No. So that means I'm going to put it in my partial product. I'm going to place my comma so I don't forget. And now, Ethan, I just multiplied the 1s and I multiplied the 10s. What's step 3? It's the same every time. What do we have to do next to get our final answer? Look at what we have. What do we still need to do? Come on, you got to memorize the steps. You have got to memorize the steps. Colin, what do we do?
Add them.
Add what?
Add the partial product.
Add the partial product. So, Ethan, what's step 3? Add the partial products. Okay, Ethan. 4 plus 0 is, we're starting with the ones place. 4 plus 0 is 4. Add the tens. 5 plus 1 is 6. Add the hundreds. 3 plus 3 is, bring down our comma because it's always going to line up in addition and subtraction. Add the thousands. 5 plus nothing is, so Ethan, 354 plus 5,310 is 5,664, which means, class, 59 times 96 is what?
5,664.
5,664. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, we have about 10 minutes until it's time to move on to reading. So go ahead. I'm going to think about what I want your homework to be, whether I want it to be the independent practice or the homework page or both. I'm probably going to go ahead and say both because it's got about the same amount of problems on those 2 pages, I think, that you would have on homework. And the more practice, the better. So what I want you to do at home, actually no, we're all going to do the word problem together. And then you just won't have any independent practice today. It'll just be homework tonight, okay? So let's all look at the word problem. Okay, so for the word problem, we have how many seconds are there in 35 minutes? Well, we only have something. We have our answer unit because we know it comes after how many. So our answer unit is seconds. There's only one other place with a number, so we know our other unit has to be what? Carla.
A number of seconds.
No, that's our answer unit. We know there's only one other place where we see a number, which means the word that comes after it has to be the other unit. Zari, what does our other unit have to be?
Minute.
Minutes. That's the only other noun in our sentence. So we know our answer unit is the noun seconds because it comes after how many. The only other noun in our seconds, in our question, is minutes. So that has to be the other unit. Which means we automatically know 35 minutes is part of our equation. 35 minutes times what? Oh, but what is the other part of our equation? We don't have another number. But this is something that we should all know. Because we're trying to figure out how many seconds are in 35 minutes. So that means we need a number of seconds to multiply by. Victoria? What is our other number going to be?
60, because 60 seconds are in a minute.
Okay. 60. Why is it 60?
Because 60 seconds are in a minute.
60 seconds are in 1 minute. So that means we have to take 35 minutes and multiply it by 60. Because for every 1 minute, there's 60 seconds. So we're repeating 60 seconds 35 times. So now we just need to solve. So we're going to come to the side, and we're going to write it up and down. So we have double-digit multiplication. Aaron, we're just finishing this up really quick, and then we will do reading, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so Carla, when I'm doing double-digit multiplication, what is step 1?
Multiply the one.
Multiply the ones, which means I'm doing what equation to get that partial product?
You're doing 35 times 0.
35 times 0, because I'm taking my whole top factor and multiplying it by the value of the digit in the ones place. Carla, a 0 in any place, no matter what, the value is what?
0.
0. So, now I know, do I even need to do this, like, and set it up and go up and down and whatever?
35 times 6.
Wait, but we're not there yet. What are you listening to the question I'm asking? We still have to solve our first partial product. Do I have to cover up the digit in the tens place and solve like going up to 0 times 5 and then 0 times 3? Do I need to do that when I'm multiplying by 0?
No.
No, because I know anytime I multiply by 0, my answer is what?
0.
0. And why do I know that? What tells me that anything times 0 is 0? What tells me that? Colin.
Because of the zero property of multiplication.
The 0 property of multiplication. Very good. Okay, Carla. Now I need to do step 2. What is step 2?
Multiply the 10.
Multiply the tens, which means I'm doing what equation?
35 times 60.
35 times 60, because I take my whole top number factor and I multiply it by the value of the digit in the tens place. Carla, a 6 in the tens place is worth how much?
60.
60. Okay, I'm multiplying by a multiple of 10, which means what?
There's going to be a 0 at the 1.
There's going to be a 0 in the ones place. So now that I've dealt with that 0, what equation do I have left?
35 times 6.
35 times 6, which means I can cover up this digit in the ones place and just solve. Carla, am I going to do 6 times 3 first?
No.
No, I have to do what equation?
6 times 5.
Which equals
30.
30. So I've got my 0 down here. Do I have somewhere to regroup that 3?
No.
I did 6 times 5, which is 30. Do I have somewhere to regroup that 3?
Yes.
Yes, because have I used this digit in the tens place on the top yet?
No.
No, which means I can regroup. Okay, now what am I solving, Carla?
6 times 3.
6 times 3, which is what?
6 times 3 equals 80.
Not 80, but 18.
18.
Make sure you're saying the word properly. I know that you knew it was 18, so just make sure that you're saying it properly, okay? Okay, so 6 times 3 is 18. Do we write 18 down at the bottom?
No.
No, because what do we need to do first?
We need to add the regroup number.
So 6 times 3 is what, Carla?
6 times 3 equals 18.
18 plus our regroup 3,
21.
21. Do we have somewhere to regroup the 2 now?
No.
No. So now we can write it in our partial product. We're going to put in our comma. And now what's step 3, Carla?
Add the partial product.
Add the partial products. Do we even need to go place by place to add this?
No.
No, because we know any number plus 0, the answer will be that number. Because of what? What tells us that any number plus 0 equals that number? Michaela. We're not working with multiplication. Smith.
The identity property of addition.
The identity property of addition. Is there such thing as a 0 property of addition, class?
No.
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 So, Carla, we know any number plus 0 is that number, so that means 2,100 plus 0 will be what, Carla?
2,100.
2,100, which means 35 times 60 is what, class?
2,100
2,100 seconds.
2,100. So, Carla, the answer to the question, how many seconds are there in 35 minutes, is what?
It is 2,100 seconds.
Very good. Okay, was that so bad? Did the practice make it a little easier? Because we're doing the same exact thing every time. What's the only thing that changes? Do the steps change? No. What changes? What's the only thing that changes each time? Zadie?
The number.
The numbers. And as long as you know your basic facts, is that very hard? Not if you know your basic facts. So math if you can see the patterns and you realize that there are patterns there and you memorize what the pattern is, Mason, make sure you're listening. If you memorize what the pattern is, math is not going to be as hard as you think it's going to be. Kingston, head up. Kingston. Head up. That is not okay. I'm going to be emailing your mom. You didn't even, I don't know what to do. Well, we're not waiting for you. It's too late. So, as long as you can find the patterns, it is not going to take a long time. You just have to find the patterns and memorize them. Okay.